Hi, and welcome to the final video of Section 4, Using Closures to Return Data. In the previous video, we looked at how to parse JSON using Swifty JSON. In this video, we're going to take a look at why Data.mp4 makes request to the API using asynchronous requests. We will learn how to return the data using closures. And finally, we will test the call to functions using closures. Let's start by talking a little about why Data.mp4 makes request to a third-party API using asynchronous requests. As we can see in the function getEditorChoicesImages, Data.mp4 use trailing closures to handle the completion of requests as it is made asynchronous. But why is that? Remember that we can refer to video 2.3 for a better explanation about closures in detail. Well, let's suppose we make requests to the API using asynchronous request. Once the user makes a click on some button in the UI, this means that until the request is complete, the main thread is blocked, and the UI is blocked too. A user cannot use the UI as request was made in the main thread. This kind of behavior is not accepted by any user. Hence, the only solution is to make asynchronous requests and subscribe to callbacks for completion of handlers using closures and to get informed when the request is completed. In this way, the main thread is never blocked, and a user can continue interacting with the UI while request is made in background. To return the JSON returned in response outside the function getEditorChoicesImages, we need to use closures to pass the values returned. So let's change the function getEditorChoicesImages to the following function in this snippet. We add a new closure called completionHandler that receives two parameters called JSON of type optional JSON and error of type optional NSError, and returns void. The two parameters have been declared as optional because in case of success, JSON is returned and error will be nil. And in case of failure, JSON will be nil and error will be returned, as seen in the body of the function. Let's see how to call a function from appDelegate, as we did before to test the function. So let's place the code. As we can see, since the function has a trailing closure, we can call it without parentheses. The first line uses guard statement to make an optional binding to the JSON argument. And in case, if it is not nil, the value can be used in the rest of the scope, else the closure ends. For now, we have to omit the error parameter. Later, we will see how to deal with it properly. Inside the closure, we put the code to parse JSON using Swifty JSON, as learnt before in video 4.3. Great! Let's run the app to test the result of the function. Now we can see the results in console, and everything works perfect. In this section, we set up a class, Request Manager, using the singleton design pattern, used Data.mp4 to make requests asynchronously to the API, used Swifty JSON to parse the JSON returned, and used closures to return the data. In the next section, we will learn about UI Table View Controller and know how to set UI View Controllers to handle the interactions and pass data between them. It will be interesting to learn how to make a search in the UI and zoom in and out of photos. Finally, we will see our app finished and ready to use.